Logic Pro has updated to the 11th iteration, and the two most exciting things that are new in Logic is the Chromaglow and the stem splitter. And in this video, I'm going to break down the Chromaglow, what it is, and how it compares to the Decapitator from Soundtoys, which is the plugin that I think resembles most the Chromaglow. Will it stand up to the premium plugin that the Decapitator is? Stay tuned to find out. I'm Ole Petter Myhren from subphonic.com, and I'm passionate about mixing and mastering music. And to celebrate the new Logic Pro version 11, I have updated my Logic Pro mixing templates. The link is in the description. Make sure you go grab them. They are compatible with the new version and the later iterations of version 10. Also, I have included older versions of the mixing templates that will go all the way back to Mac OS Big Sur. So if you are interested in mixing templates for Logic Pro absolutely for free, go download them right away. Now let's get into the content. I just want to break down the main differences between the Chromaglow and the Decapitator. Just let me pull them up. Let's see. Here's the Chromaglow. Here's the Decapitator from Soundtoys, and I found that the Decapitator is closest to the Chromaglow that I could think of. I thought also about the Saturn 2 from FabFilter, but that's more advanced and it's multiband, so it's really not a fair comparison, but the Decapitator has a lot of the same functions. Now, let me just break down the similarities and the differences. So you have the drive knob, and this is basically the same concept in both plugins. Then you have the low cut and the high cut. Also in the Chromaglow, let me just enhance it a bit, a bypass low knob, which can be practical. We have a mix knob in both of them, and we have several styles. So you have the retro tube, modern tube, magnetic, squeeze, and analog preamp. And in the Decapitator, we have also 5 different flavors which we can use to color the mixes. Additionally, in the Chromaglow, you have the option of clean and colorful, and in the, I think it's the squeeze algorithm, you have something called the soft press and the hard press. So that's a bit different. And also one different thing here is that you have a resonance shaper, so you can really shape the resonance, so you can get some effects there by tweaking the resonance. And you also have a filter slope setting, so you can choose which slope you want, and 12 would be the most standard, I guess. 6 is really conservative, while 24 is kind of hard, and you can go all the way up to 48. And here we have in the Decapitator, we have a tone knob, which isn't present in the Chromaglow. Both of them feature some sort of level out adjustment. Level in, level out here. We don't have a level in knob in the Decapitator. We only have the drive. So in that regard, the Chromaglow is a bit more flexible, as you can see. We have some presets here for different types of basses. We have for drums and guitars, keys, for the master bus, and for vocals. For the Decapitator, we have for bass, drums, effects, guitar, reamping, more guitars, I guess, vocals. None for the master bus, and I think the reason why is that what I see in the Chromaglow is that it's easier to dial in subtly. The Decapitator is more heavy-handed. It's not really designed to live on the mix bus. Even though I sometimes put it on the mix bus, it's not designed that way. The Chromaglow is more all-around than the Decapitator, I think. So in this case, I have used it on the kick, the snare, the bass, and a verse vocals. So let me just play back everything.
Trivelig familieliv med alle samla svømmehallen hver mandag, barnebursdag, flaggestanger. Trivelig familieliv med alle samla svømmehallen hver mandag, barnebursdag, flaggestanger. Lindmo etter tacoen, grille litt til lavon. Lufte bikkja, bare vinke litt til naboen. Lindmo etter tacoen, grille litt til lavon. Lufte bikkja, bare vinke litt til naboen.
So on the top here we have the Chromaglow. Actually, let me color it differently. So the Chromaglow would be with pink. Let's go dark yellow for the Decapitator. Let's just solo the kick first, and then we can listen. I've tried to dial in more or less the same sounds on both processors, so you can see here. If I wanted to approach the same characteristic on both the Decapitator and the Chromaglow, I would have to use the mix knob on the Decapitator. But I thought it wasn't fair to do parallel processing on one of them, so I didn't. But you can hear that there's really a lot of difference. So you see the drive knob is basically set the same. We have no frequency cutoff. I have selected A for this one, and here I've selected retro tube and with the colorful setting, and that's the closest that I came. So certainly there are different characteristics on these two processors, and it's almost impossible to get the same results using both processors, and I think that's a good thing, because then you can get the best of both worlds. I don't think in any case the Decapitator is replaced by the Chromaglow. Let me show you the snare. So first the Chromaglow and then the Decapitator. So here I got kind of close. Let's see, just pull up this one. Okay, so I have it on magnetic. I would guess this is some type of tape emulation. And then we have the Decapitator on the E setting. And nothing much else going on other than that they are level balanced. They have the same output level, at least. Oh. Actually not on this one. Would have to turn up the Decapitator a bit. It's hard to fine-tune the Decapitator. It's really, as I said, it's really heavy-handed. Let's see. Oof. But you hear, it's pretty close on the snare. But the snare is more distorted by nature than the kick. Let's listen to the bass. First the Chromaglow, and then the Decapitator. And in this case, I've used the squeeze function with the hard press, and on the Decapitator I've used the E setting again with not so much drive. Maybe I should drive it more. Let's see. Here we go. I think that the Decapitator did a better job retaining the subs in the bass, but the Chromaglow did a better job boosting the harmonics up in the frequency range. I don't know. Both plugins in tandem, maybe? Who knows? Two channels, blending them together, parallel processing it, would be the best, maybe. And now comes the verse. Just listen to this. We have first the Chromaglow, then the Decapitator, with the Chromaglow on the retro tube clean, and the Decapitator. Here we got the T setting. Maybe some more distortion here.
Trivelig familieliv med alle samla, svømmehallen annenhver mandag, barnebursdag, flaggstanga, Lindmo etter tacoen, grille litt til lavvoen, lufte bikkja, bare vinke litt til naboen. Trivelig familieliv med alle samla, svømmehallen annenhver mandag, barnebursdag, flagg.
What I notice is that the Decapitator requires less drive to get more harmonics squeezed. So the Chromaglow is more fine-tunable. I have it up on 45% here without it making any cracky noises such as the Decapitator does. So I think that's one of the main differences, and also the characters are in essence different. The algorithms has to be different, I guess. And what's going on with the ones and the zeros behind the curtain is different. And I think that you might agree that the Chromaglow stands well beside the Decapitator, and that's pretty sweet considering it be a stock plugin. Now let's listen again to the whole thing.
Trivelig familieliv med alle samla, svømmehallen var mandag, barnet, bursdag, flaggestang. Trivelig familieliv med alle samla, svømmehallen var mandag, barnet, bursdag, flaggestang. Trivelig familieliv med alle samla, svømmehallen var mandag, barnet, bursdag, flaggestang. Limo etter tacoen, grille litt til lavon. Lufte bikkja, bare vinke litt til naboen. Limo etter tacoen, grille litt til lavon. Lufte bikkja, bare vinke litt til naboen.
Yeah. That's the Chromaglow, and the other plugin is the